Hey, hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary Grigsby's War in the East. We're finally in April, so let's hope that we can get through the spring floods, etc. relatively quickly, reorganize a bit, and get ready to go. Once I have the time, once again I'll deal with the air reorganization, but for now I don't have any way to do so yet. Let's start up in the north here, and I think this is a good attack. Yeah. It's just a bunch of planes there. They once again left CS Troy empty. So what I can do is assign a bunch of powerful units again. I know that's a bit weird, but sure. Anything to get more units. Yeah, still barely made it. But it allows me to move these. Can I probably cannot immediately remove them. That would be... No. Move. And... Oof. Not only does it, I mean, I don't need to have Siestra itself. I don't really care for that, but I want to get rid of these divisions. That will give me a good 20,000 or something, probably. I'll have to get rid of them with the 6th finish, but given their situation, I think I'll be able to do that. I don't see them moving that much either. I mean, even if I attack here, it's unlikely I'll be able to move forward a hex. Let's just leave that. Bye. And... the tricky part in a sense I mean, indeed that has to be the call, right? Going up in here doesn't necessarily have to be bad. Let's get those guys out of there. The interesting thing is that, I mean, there is nothing there in the north. That's kind of the thing, but it's going exceptionally well. Especially because the AI just seems to be unable, indeed, to really counteract anything. I'm just going to put one part of that unit there. They're not going to move in there and attack, I think. But I would have to... move up slightly. No, they're still in supply, so I'd rather keep it on the actual depot. While I'm now gonna push these, because once I get rid of these next turn, then this is also looking quite solid, or I will even move them up towards Novaya Ladoga. Something along those lines. Certainly I need the 305th in there. And push those guys back. The problem is that I need to keep the 126 in there. They will likely not do super well. It will be quite challenging. Yeah, I need to refit you two. I might actually even put them in there, refit, because I'm very likely to put a depot in there as well, even now. Oh, damn it. But after that, I should probably just move back. Alright. Refit. These guys will stay there. Hopefully they're not going to move up. That would be unfortunate. Not really interested in taking that hex for no reason. Not super ideal. Let's try to at least get rid of those. I need to create a bit more of an opening for this area. And I think, yeah, those two are not good enough. I need something more powerful in there. Let's do this. These guys are weak, but I don't really see these guys attack that quickly. And I'd like this a little bit more. So let's just also put them under the 5th, just to make that work. Another problem here is that, but that's also not something that I can deal with yet. Of course, I do have the 26th now coming up. These guys and these should just pretty much stay in there. And I don't see myself pushing further at this point towards Bologu. It really just all depends on whether they're going to send some units over to this side. I definitely have the advantage here. And I mean, there are no victory objectives there, but I cannot imagine them, you know, allowing themselves to be pushed around in this area. Not that I gain that much from it by any stretch of the imagination. But having a significant force here does at least continuously tie up units that need to go there. I really need this to straighten up the lines. Ideally, I'll push back 1 or 2 more hexes at the very least to really make that a little bit better, but not so much I can do about that. Now that we're done with these, I think I'm gonna go down, work on this double line here, while at the same time just, you know, connecting that for a bit. Let's keep the HQs close together. Do I still need one of those HQs? The 106th is poised to withdraw. to the Western Theater. If that's the case, I might just as well send them away from the front. At least. So that, you know, I can pull them off of the line whenever I feel like it. These guys are not going to be any contribution anymore at this stage. That is definitely something to keep in mind. 5 out of 9, that's really good. That would allow me technically to take some stuff off of the table. Taking battalions, I think, works best there. I need a powerful unit. I'm not too sure whether I even want to use the 6th Panzer. I mean, I can't even use those. Okay. But I could use that part of 8th without using the mountain. Yeah, it cost me quite a few tanks there. But I can't even pull out the 8th Panzer. Okay. Can you move in there? Yes, you can. I'd rather... The thing is, 14th motorized is at 85. But it does have quite a few damaged elements, which is why it's still relatively weak. Infantry at Mozhaisk. I mean, these guys certainly need to move out. That's one thing to take into consideration. 17th Panzer is also not looking all too well. How are we doing down here? No, not good enough yet. I will have to do a bit of a switch up, but at least doing that. And I do really want to protect Mozhaisk, so I'll keep both Totenkopf and the 384th there. This will allow me to put 14th motorized in there and to rest both of these divisions. Potentially. Gonna have to see how that fans out, because we do have a gap there now, especially with 17th Panzer likely going to bite the dust. These guys cannot pull in there. Which is an additional problem, but okay, I can technically do something like that, so that does work. Let's see here. One, two, three, four, five. Technically, things are a bit of a mess because these and then only one unit from there and then 57, so I need a 218th under 39th motorized. So that these guys can take this. Yeah. Then the 39th can take this unit. And now this is also looking neat. With you, and then there should be one more taking care of things here. Yeah. Let's actually do something completely unrelated. Refitting these. And working on that array line. Oh. I know that doesn't even come close to doing the exact same stuff. Okay, so let's just have some pretty big stacks of all the units here reorganizing. And oh, no. Need to just move regularly. And refit them. How are we here? I'll actually pull you there, and I'll just put these in Feodosia. So I have a full Romanian division in Sevastopol. That makes a bit more sense, to be fair. I know it doesn't seem to be that great of a choice from a gameplay perspective. But let's see. They're all part of the 4th Romanian, but I should now have... Yeah, I have 2 Romanian Corps. I actually need a 3rd Romanian Corps there, because I do not have enough. Shouldn't I have those Romanian Corps somewhere? I think I do. But I'm not quite sure. I have this one. I'll send it over there. There's no rush to deal with this. I'll just have all of them on refit. I know they're really close, but close to Kurch and stuff, but we'll be fine. Now that we have a rail line there too, basically these guys will try to cross whenever they have the opportunity to. We'll move the SS Mountain Division, definitely not there. Let's get them over down here, off of the train. They could probably immediately move into some location. Excellent. I'll deal with that in a bit. There is the Italian Corps HQ. Excellent. Send them over. And build more rail lines. Definitely important. Okay, now that I've gotten all those, I'm probably best off trying to get to work on that rail line from there. So I'll move up. This one is not so important. Especially since I have the one into the Crimea going around now. It's not that big of a deal. Technically, I could also go for one down to this port. But this is an importing port, right? Yeah, okay, good. And Odessa is an exporting port. Indeed. Let's turn Nikolaev into an export port as well. And Kherson too. Yeah. So basically I can't change that. Interesting. Wonder why. I guess maybe because there's no rail line. That will be the issue. Well, that makes sense. Let's see. So we got more units working on those rail lines over in this section. That's pretty neat. Although I definitely don't need all of them. The most important here is that this one is now around. It does mean that at least this small part should be less taxed. I really need this hex and this hex as well, so they can use that as a secondary line. How are things down here? These guys are holding everything quite well. I like to get Das Reich off of the line here and put in the 7th SS Mountain. I can put them under the 49th Mountain Corps. And they can get into Rostov and refit. They're not doing that poorly. Well, they're at 43, so it's not that great actually. So they, I guess, really do need some rest. This cavalry brigade got quite pumped, but they're not above 80%. So I'll leave them under those conditions. Let's actually, I want to try and do the somewhat easier part first. It's always a bit tricky. Certainly I'm not going to let a unit like that take over. These units here are doing pretty well. In fact, I would take out the 11th, put in the 363rd. Obviously going to reorganize that. You're part of the 7th Corps, so let's make you part of the 7th. So at least in terms of numbers, they're looking relatively well at that point. Let's put you under the OKH. Get them into Zukinishki to refit. Being at 36, that's simply what I do. Okay, all of those units are at least above 10k. I really do appreciate that. Now, what I'm gonna do, I want to get 17th Panzer out too, basically. So in order to plug that gap, I'm looking to get in the 18th motorized, and this looks kind of lame, but these three units together still constitute roughly 10,000 men. Not exactly, but that's fine. And then I'll put in the 258th here. It also gives me another benefit, is that I do have more units from the 9th Army consecutively here. And that just looks a lot neater. It also allows me to pull 2 Panzer divisions off of the line for refitting and reorganization, which I think is quite worthwhile. It does mean though that those units at Maloyarslavets will have to hold there, these 2 brigades. Also still roughly 10,000 men, so it's not that bad. Let's just see whether this is looking good. That's demotorized, the first one. These are in refit. This is looking good. This too. This is a bit unfortunate. The thing is, what I think is best here, do this. Again, that allows me to take 2nd Panzer. Not exactly, but at least, like I said, that's another Panzer away from the battlefield. I really need to plug the gaps with infantry. Would send more infantry up there if I do have anything stacked. 2 mountain divisions. Unbelievable. Okay. Because mountain divisions, I really want to send them south. Ideally. So let's indeed actually do that. If they're going to go to the Crimea, that's where they're going to need to go. So it's a bit tricky, but both of them going to that area. Because really they are the only units that can actually cross the Caucasus there, so. Yeah. I actually wonder if I can keep playing even after taking those objectives and stuff. We'll see. Okay, so no rest for the wicked over here in Army Group Center. We're gonna have a tough job ahead of them. Anyway, that pulls another Panzer division, so that's working out well. These guys, unfortunately, at this point, do need to refit due to my mistake. Not in Zuknishki necessarily, but I do have 20th motorized. I don't see myself holding that necessarily. When did the Germans give that up? 28th of December. I'm kind of fine in there. But to guard that place with the Luftwaffe Field Division, well, you guys can't even enter. And these cannot go down. It's not as if I can thus really do a whole lot with these. I guess I'll just stick to it now. I have one division here, the 252nd. That has reorganized quite well. These guys are still on refit. 4th Army is actually too big. What I need to do is I need to get 2nd Panzer Army and get them back into assault status. The way to do that was here. They're gonna get removed on the 112th towards Balkans. That's a long while off. So 2nd Panzer is now in assault mode again. That means that I can take a lot more units and I can shift units from 2nd Army over to 2nd Panzer. Yeah. How are we down here? These are reasonable, and at Kharkov itself, the thing is that this is a problematic unit. They have rifle brigades, 2 of them, and a strong rifle division. Another thing that's quite tricky is here. I need to present some serious forces in order to beat them back, but I just straight up don't have that. 16th motorized is somewhat powerful, and I do have the 23rd Panzer in the region. But attacking with those guys could prove to be a challenge. There's the motorized corps, which might be able to be pulled off of the line for a bit. Well, let's start with getting the 12th Corps under the 2nd Panzer Army. And these guys are fine. I can withdraw Viking and put in the 131st. This is kind of sucky because I did that the wrong way, but let's do it like this. Yeah. And there we go. That's step 1. The 12th Corps, how good are you? Walter-wise, infantry 8. That's very, very good. Does have a lot of support units, so that works quite well. I do have this corps. It is nothing assigned. He's not too bad, but I have to say that the prospect of having 3,000 men hold that part of the line, even if it is the 8th SS Cavalry Brigade, is not that enticing to me. If I want to move 16th Panzer out, what I need to do is make sure that whatever unit is in here is quite powerful. Well, is the weakest unit needs to be in here, and I guess putting the Slovakian Mobile Division there, technically that's fine, I think, as long as this is a level 3 fortification. So that at least allows me to move out that Panzer. Panzer Division indeed. Good. All of these are on refit, so that's also good for the Hungarians. Alright. I guess this part of Viking can then also plug that. So this is looking quite stable, this part. No problems anymore there, I would say. 6th Army is a different matter, but let's discuss that in a bit. This is pretty interesting because the enemy is very weak, but so am I. First of all, I would want the 52nd to move in there. Make them part of the 6th Corps. Then take these. They can go out. The Yelnia Bend, huh? Oh, wow. Well, those two will definitely refit there, and it increases their position slightly. Let's get both of these under the 2nd Army. Now, how is 2nd Panzer Army doing? They can easily take another corps. And okay, any unit that's above 10,000 should not necessarily need to refit. I have a pretty powerful attack. If I can take all of these, I know that's crazy. That does shorten my line by 2. But there's no way I can attack into that. These maybe, but definitely not now. These units are 33. They need to get out of there. And these guys were not doing that well either. 4th Army is still overburdened. How is 2nd Panzer Army doing now? 41 out of 45, and 2nd Army has only 8 units, which means that there's a bit of a change that I can make here. 2nd Army now has 16, so they can take 9 more. There we go. So I'll switch 2nd Army back up north. There's going to be a pretty tight spot where the 4th Army is going to be over there, but we're going to have to deal with it. So let's start moving 2nd Army units. Even 8th. No, they're 13th Corps. 13th Corps. 13th Corps? Hello? There. They are part of 2nd Army. Okay. And then you should be part of the 9th. Yeah, so 2nd Army has a bunch of units recovering now. That's see, because I actually have the 197th, which is operational. Let's see. Because most certainly, do you have, yeah, you do have these kind of elements assigned. And how is this corps? Because they at least have some. And these also. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do a reorganization of the support units as well. For the moment though, I can refit both of those there. And these guys, they're empty. Okay. That's that. How many units does it have now? 10. Let's at least put you... Well, I need to get all of them under some core here. I have one core. Is that it? It is. That means I'll send these over. They probably cannot get off of the train. They'll do so on the next turn. Meanwhile, I'll put all these guys under the 4th Army. For the moment. 14 units. There we go. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to leave both of these in these positions for the moment. Actually, let's pull you out because 7th Infantry is as powerful as those tanks. I do also think then that this Corps can move up 1 hex. This is looking kind of strange. I'm gonna reorganize that for a bit. I can take 1 more unit. Thing is, this is the motorized corps with Reinhardt, so they're a lot better with the tanks than anything else. So it's not as if you want to put infantry under that. But let's put the 202nd under the 2nd Army. These guys are recovering. They're gonna move up. So I'm gonna leave these hexes. No need to move into them or attack at this stage, really. Does it help even at all? No. Let's just leave them like that. Okay, they're both refitting, so that means that this is kind of taken care of somewhat for now. I think though with that I'm gonna wrap things up. Once again, I'll take care of the south in the next episode. So for now, I want to thank you for watching. All this reorganization it's going apace, so I can't complain about it, I suppose, for now. And at least, you know, we're taking some few pieces of territory here and there. It's nothing fancy, to be sure, and I'm not even taking back everything that I lost during the winter. I was a lot further than this, I think. So there's indeed that. Kind of wish I would be able to take back this road to, like, at least something like this to just have a bit more territory around Orel, but we'll just see how things go over time. I did at least take back most of my losses in the north here, the upper north, that is. I'm not really sure whether I'll be able to get back to Nibolochi or whatever. I think I did get it, but it's nothing fancy. They probably they have 1 manpower there. That's something. But right. I'll wrap things up indeed. Want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. See you then. Bye-bye.